Certainly the work we did after 9/11 at the Pentagon was probably the most compelling because it took us right on site. And I think helping families understand that and understanding why the recovery process was so difficult really was quite impacting. And I had had an experience a few years previous after the Morrow building where I had gone out and we had worked a little bit with some of the firefighters that had responded. And at the end of that session, one of the fire chiefs had given me a piece of the Morrow building, this piece of granite, and he talked about how important it was to kind of hold on to a piece of the building. And one of the moments I remember is I was with one of the moms and she was so overcome she couldn't talk. And I remember reaching through the fence and picking up a brick from the Pentagon and handing her this piece. And she took it, she put it in her hand, and she just sat there and she rubbed it and rubbed it and rubbed it and took some really deep breaths. And then she picked up another piece and handed one back to me and got up and walked away. We never said a word to each other, but that was such a powerful moment for me.
When I was a high school sophomore, I was selected for my school to attend the Hugh O'Brien Youth Leadership Seminar in Michigan. Because of that 3-day transformational experience, it absolutely hooked me. And 20 years later, I'm still involved and thrilled that I had the opportunity to come to DC and found a local affiliate so that the program could be offered to high school students in the District of Columbia. It's wonderful because of the diversity that we bring together, from the private schools to the charter schools and the DC public schools, and you can see how it helps to transform the students just over a short 3-day time period because of how they're able to collaborate and talk and share and gain a perspective that they wouldn't have otherwise.
I am deeply involved in the DC metropolitan area communities, serving people with all abilities, including those with disabilities, with an organization called Easter Seals. I serve on the board and couldn't be more proud of it as a service provider, helping people with disabilities like myself, which is why I was called to serve in this capacity, helping them with everything from early learning to the transition to employment, which is so critical for people with disabilities who today, as you may know, have huge barriers to seeking employment in this country. Part of my volunteerism is I serve as Miss Wheelchair America, the former, and I get asked to speak at many organizations and events that impact and empower young women and young men with disabilities. And when that event was over, Miss Wheelchair Kansas came up to me, and Miss Wheelchair Kansas said, "You don't know me, but I am here because of you." We may never know the lives that we touch in volunteer service, but I am called to give back to all of those champions that did exactly what those young women say that I have done for them.
My outside community activities heavily involve improving women in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. The Brilliant and Beautiful Foundation, which I founded in 2011, looks at females across K through 12, then undergraduate, and also going into graduate school. So for K through 12, it was important for me to see for that particular area, young ladies need exposure to the STEM disciplines. We look at exposing the young ladies to things like shampoo, how to make your own shampoo. I was able and fortunate, to move through the ranks of science, receiving the PhD, and now, working in my field. It's now that I've been able to get over certain things, it's definitely important to give back and help someone else get to that point.